Tonight on UCentral. Tonight on UCentral News. New laws are going into effect on November 1st. Find out how they might affect you next. Halloween is right around the corner. Carly Torbett will have your scary weather forecast. And country music artist Morgan Wallen has announced his next tour with dates starting in 2026. Zach Sexton has all of the details. And a Thunder player just announced he's battling cancer. Luke Underwood will have your sports update. All that and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Hello everyone, I'm Phil Rodriguez.
And I'm Abby Avers. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
The Oklahoma Department of Human Services sent out an email yesterday to its employees, notifying them that the department plans to furlough up to 6,000 Oklahomans at the agency due to the federal government shutdown. Agency officials said in the statement, this was an extremely difficult decision, and we recognize the hardship it places on our staff. Oklahoma Human Services exists to provide critical services to our most vulnerable neighbors. Unfortunately, the ongoing federal shutdown has significantly impacted our ability to fulfill that mission without taking actions such as this. DHS says that those earning $50,000 a year or more will be most affected. Employees with salaries of $100,000 or more will have 3 furlough days per pay period. Those with a salary of $50,000 to $100,000 will have 2 furlough days per pay period, and those who make less than $50,000 a year will be exempt.
A whole new set of laws are going to take effect on Saturday, with one of them trying to crack down on distracted driving. I went out to see how this law affects Edmond.
About 300 new laws are going to effect on Saturday. And for one, you could get pulled over just for holding a device.
New rules are coming to Oklahoma roads, and if you use your phone behind the wheel, you'll want to pay attention. Starting November 1st, it will be illegal just to hold your phone while driving through a school or construction zone.
I spoke with Sergeant Ham with the Edmond Police Department to find out exactly what this new law entails and what makes it different from the current texting and driving ban.
So just seeing somebody holding a cell phone in their hand has not been illegal. We actually have to see them texting and driving, see their screen, really have enough evidence to have enough to issue a ticket. So what this changes with the new law is just if an officer sees you holding a phone, regardless of whatever else you're doing on that phone, and you're in a school zone or a construction zone, that becomes illegal now.
Sergeant Ham also let me know why he thinks this law is needed.
These are in critical areas where tragedies can happen in the school zones and construction zones where we have students on the roadway walking or construction workers out there working in the roadway where people not paying attention can have very deadly consequences.
Drivers can still use hands-free options like Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay, but holding your phone even to check a map or take a quick call could cost you a $100 fine. Author of the bill, Representative Nicole Miller of Edmond, says this law is simple but impactful, saying this law reinforces every driver's responsibility to remain attentive and protect those around them. Enforcement of this law begins November 1st, with Oklahoma taking another step in keeping construction crews and children safer on the roads.
This law is just one of the many taking effect this weekend. Others include stricter DUI laws and Loria and Ashley's law, which requires those convicted of being an accessory to murder to serve 85% of their prison sentence before being eligible for parole. Now, we had a very chilly morning. I'm very curious how it is right now. Carly?
Thanks, Abby. Looking at those current conditions, we got a little bit of a break from all of that rain that came in last week. It's super sunny outside today. We're still in the 60s, so 61 degrees outside. A little bit of wind coming in from the north-northwest at about 4 miles an hour. Humidity's at a 43%, and it does feel like 64 because of all that sunshine and that low wind that we have today. But tomorrow we're looking at Halloween. Going into trick-or-treat forecast, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, that sunset's going to hit around 6:35 p.m., 63 degrees outside, super cloudy. Going into the evening, it is going to start to cool down more and more, so 7 o'clock, 79 degrees, and 8 o'clock, 57 degrees. And then looking ahead, like I said, no spooky temperatures for tomorrow's trick-or-treating. Kids are going to be able to hit the streets and look for that candy. Maybe need a jacket or just to keep a little bit warm. Going into Saturday, chilly Bronco game day all the way in Nebraska, and then we are going to see some temperatures back in the 70s later next week. I will have all of the small details and more later on in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Carly. UCO's Hispanic American Student Association will be hosting its annual Day of the Dead celebration in the Nye University Center's ballrooms tonight. The event is from 6 to 9 p.m. with admission free and open to everyone. HASA is also inviting students to bring pictures of loved ones who have passed away to put on their community ofrenda. An ofrenda, according to the Cambridge English Dictionary, is a table covered in photographs, candles, and flowers for the Day of the Dead celebration. HASA said on their Instagram stories that photos of deceased pets are welcome as well. The celebration was originally going to be in Plunkett Park, but was relocated to the Nye ballrooms due to weather.
President Donald Trump is headed back to the United States after a landmark meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Following that sit-down, Trump said they had reached a trade deal that could be signed soon, but didn't provide any details. Correspondent Julia Benbrook is at the White House with what we know.
During President Donald Trump's nearly week-long diplomatic tour of Asia, he made stops in Malaysia, Japan, and in South Korea. That's where this highly anticipated meeting between Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping took place. That meeting happening at a precarious time for relations between the two countries after an escalating trade dispute. In the days leading up to it, though, Trump was optimistic, saying he believed it would be a good meeting, maybe even a great meeting. That positive tone continued after the sit-down.
We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal, but I think the deal will go on for a long time. But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
The two leaders discussed a framework laid out by their teams, which includes the U.S. lowering the tariff rates on Chinese goods, as well as China cracking down on fentanyl flow and ramping up purchases of U.S. soybeans. China said it will make corresponding adjustments to its trade war countermeasures, including pausing its new curbs on rare earth exports for 1 year. According to a readout by Beijing's foreign ministry, the two countries, quote, reached a consensus on important economic and trade issues. Though the details are still scarce, these moves represent a reprieve in the tariff war between the world's two largest economies. Trump announced that he does have plans to travel to Beijing in April. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
A new notice from the Trump administration shows that the amount of refugees admitted into the U.S. will drop down to only 7,500 this year, most of whom will be white South Africans. This comes from a report published today on the Federal Register, noting that there is no specific reason for the decrease from last year's high of 125,000 refugees who were admitted under the Biden administration's rules. The notice stated only that the low admission numbers were, quote, justified by humanitarian concerns or is otherwise in the national interest. President Trump originally suspended the program on his first day in office. Since that suspension, few refugees have entered the country, most of whom have been white South Africans.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have some pretty great weather for Halloween tomorrow.
Absolutely. Keep it clear for the kids trick-or-treating. Carly will have all of our details coming up next.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum.
This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Good evening, Broncos. Looking at our current conditions today, 61 degrees outside, mostly sunny, a little bit of wind coming from the north-northwest at 4 miles an hour. Humidity is only at a 43%, and it does feel like 64 degrees outside. Looking at those current conditions across the state, we're mainly 60s all across the state. Feeling good today, lots of sun, no rain today. 63 OKC Metro, 66 in Lawton, and 64 up in the Panhandle with Guyman. But going into tonight, we are going to see that temperature cool down just a bit. 38 degrees, clear skies. That wind is still going to be that 4 miles an hour, going to shift just a little bit from west to northwest. Humidity is going to bump up to 70%, and it is Oklahoma, so we do have that 5% chance of rain today. Going across the state tonight, like I said, we're all going to cool down quite a bit tonight. We're looking at 30s, some low 40s, 32 up in Guyman. That is freezing temperatures, so make sure we're staying warm this evening. 40 degrees in OKC metro area, 37 in Enid, and 33 in Clinton. Going into tomorrow, looking at some Halloween weather, we're still going to be in those chilly temperatures. Have a couple 70s down in the southern part of the state. So 70 in Altus and Lawton, 59 OKC Metro, and 61 in Guyman in the Panhandle. Going into that Bronco day, game day forecast, we are going to be in Nebraska this weekend. Super chilly weather, going to be super sunny, but we're going to have a little bit of wind coming in from the northwest. 11 o'clock pregame, 38 degrees, and we're going to start to warm up throughout the day. So kickoff 12 o'clock, 41 degrees, and then 1 o'clock, 44 degrees. 2 o'clock, start to warm up to 46 degrees. Like I said, we're going to see the sun shining, but it is going to be a little bit chilly outside. Phil, Abby, we are going to have a little bit of chilly temperatures tomorrow, but what are your plans for Halloween this weekend?
Oh, me and my roommates are going to go to like a Halloween event in the Oklahoma City, so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a bit chilly, but I think it'll be fine. What about you, Carly?
I'm actually going to stay in from the cold. I'm going to hand out candy all evening, maybe carve some pumpkins. How about you, Phil?
I was looking forward to trick-or-treating with my kiddos, but I got to work at a football game. I'll be announcing for Bethany, but they'll have plenty of candy for me to steal later.
Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, Carly. Coming up, which beloved video game is getting a new vinyl edition of its soundtrack?
And which celebrities are on postage stamps for 2026? Zach Sexton will have your social media update after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay. Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field.
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hello Broncos, my name is Zach Sexton with your social media update. Broncos, let's talk movies. Hedda Gabler has been played by many of the greatest actresses of the last century. From Ingrid Bergman to Glenda Jackson to Maggie Smith and Cate Blanchett, now Tessa Thompson takes on the role in a film that puts some new twists on the iconic play. If you are wanting to watch, you are just in luck. Hedda is now streaming on Prime Video. Let's jump into the music world. It's not even November, but Morgan Wallen is already making plans for 2026. The singer-songwriter has 21 concerts scheduled for next spring and summer. This jaunt has been dubbed the Still the Problem Tour. That's a reference to his 2025 album, I'm the Problem, which is currently the second biggest album of this year. Among the cities already penciled in, Baltimore, Chicago, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh. Tickets go on sale November 7th. For more information can be found at stilltheproblem.com. Broncos, do you still send mail? People who like to correspond with others the old-fashioned way will have new options for their envelopes. The U.S. Postal Service has a set of stamps that are coming out in 2026, and there are some famous faces among these stamps. The post office says next year's offerings celebrate, quote, the artistry and storytelling that makes stamps so special. Among the images that will be available include flowers called angels' trumpets, the American bison, Black heritage authors, legendary martial artist and actor Bruce Lee, Colorado statehood, international peace, and the late boxer Muhammad Ali. More information is available on the Postal Service website. Music and video game lovers, listen up. The memorable score of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming out on vinyl. Nintendo and Laced Records are putting out a double LP set with 34 tracks and an 8 LP box set including 130 tracks. This soundtrack will be available in limited edition color vinyl or standard black. You can pre-order now. The discs are due out June 19th, 2026. Broncos, we're going to jump back into the movie world. For the first time in 3 decades, Johnny Depp is going to be directing a film. The film is Modi, 3 Days on the Wings of Madness. This movie follows an Italian painter during a 3-day period in Paris in 1916. Depp has a popular cast to direct, including Riccardo Scamarcio and Al Pacino. This movie is intended to hit box offices in the United States on November 7th this year, being Johnny Depp's first time directing since the 90s. Abby, I know I'm talking a lot about Johnny Depp directing, but what's your favorite Johnny Depp movie he starred in?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm going to pull something from out of left field. Lone Ranger. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Fantastic. Or Rango. What about you?
I got to go with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's so creepy, but like in the best way possible. Phil?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Kind of a stereotypical Hunter S. Thompson performance, but he's so good in it. Thanks, Zach. Well, what is happening in UCO athletics this week?
And what shocking news has come forward out of the Thunder? Luke Underwood will have more after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Hello, Bronco Nation. I am Luke Underwood, and let's get straight into your Thursday sports stories. The Central Oklahoma football team will be on the road this weekend. The Broncos unfortunately came up short last week against the Northeastern State Riverhawks when quarterback Jet Huff threw a pick with time ticking down at the end of the fourth quarter, effectively ending the game, which would end with the first win for NSU in 10 years, taking the overall score between the teams, with UCO still winning 17-10. The Chos will be in action this weekend with the team traveling to Nebraska Kearney to take on the Lopers. The Broncos versus Lopers will kick off at 12 p.m. The number 7 ranked UCO volleyball team will be in action tomorrow on Halloween. The Broncos finally ended their streak of 1 win and 1 loss last week, with UCO beating Arkansas Fort Smith in both matches. The Broncos will be traveling to Warrensburg, Missouri to battle the team who ended their winning streak, the Central Missouri Mules. The Broncos were on a 17-game win streak, but the Mules would beat them on the first Saturday of October. Hopefully with this matchup, it will be less of a spooky ending and will not end in a frightful ride home. The Mules versus the Broncos will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. For our final UCO story today, the men's basketball team will be in the air as they are traveling to Longley. Yes, the Broncos are going north to British Columbia, also known as Canada, with the Chos competing in the D2 CCA Tip-Off Classic. The Broncos will be competing against 3 teams at the tournament, with the first team being Simon Fraser University. That game will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. during trick-or-treating time. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be back in Loud City tonight. The undefeated Thunder will be defending their home court against the 1-3 Washington Wizards. The Thunder will once again be without J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Joe, Kenrick Williams, Thomas Sorber, and Nikola Topic. Meanwhile, the Wizards are only looking to be without Marvin Bagley. The Thunder versus Wizards will tip off at 7 p.m. live from OKC. Speaking of the Thunder, the 2024 first-round pick Nikola Topic announced some unfortunate news this morning. The Serbian guard announced that he has started chemotherapy to treat testicular cancer. He was diagnosed in early October, but asked the Thunder to not say anything publicly until he started treatment. I and all of the Thunder fan base will be wishing Topic the best, as he hopefully will one day finally be able to make his NBA debut. It is now time for your weekly NFL news update. Week 9 of the NFL season starts tonight with the Baltimore Ravens traveling to take on the Miami Dolphins. Somehow, both of these teams have the same win record, with both teams only scraping out 2 victories this season. And funnily enough, both of their second wins came in Week 8. The Ravens are finally expected to have Lamar Jackson back after he had been out for several weeks. The Dolphins, who were considered the worst team in the league, saw Tua have the Jordan flu-type game, with it now being called the Tua one-eye game, as Tua could only see out of one eye during the game. The Baltimore Ravens versus Miami Dolphins will kick off at 7:15 p.m. tonight at Hard Rock Stadium. With Halloween tomorrow night, but a lot of sports happening, Abby, Phil, will you all be paying any attention to any sports during the holiday?
I'm definitely going to catch the Thunder game tonight. What about you, Luke?
I will definitely be paying attention to some of the UCO sports off my phone, because I don't have MIAA network, but I will not be watching them. Phil, how about you?
Well, I'll have a busy night Friday doing play-by-play for Bethany, but I'll be keeping a close watch on Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto, my Blue Jays. Coming up, what states have a chance of seeing the Northern Lights?
And Carly will have your last look at weather.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills. Rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places, open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
YouTube is restructuring and offering voluntary buyouts to U.S.-based employees who want to leave the company. According to a memo to staff Wednesday, the move is part of the video sharing platform's broader shift toward a focus on artificial intelligence. It's not yet clear whether that means more AI-driven products on the platform or AI taking on some internal work. YouTube's product team will divide into 3 divisions: subscription products, viewer products, and creator and community products. While the company's changes are not layoffs, the move comes amid growing concerns about AI replacing human jobs across many industries.
Well, the night sky may look much different this Halloween Eve in the western and midwestern parts of the United States. Words are hard today. The northern lights may be visible in several states Thursday night. Alaska is most likely to experience this phenomenon, followed by areas in Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center says most of Canada will also have the chance to see the lights. The northern light illuminations are caused by particles from the sun hitting Earth's atmosphere.
Well, now it's time for that last look at weather. Carly?
Tonight on UCentral News, new laws are...
Thank you, Abby. Looking at that 7-day forecast, tomorrow Halloween, 67 degrees, going to be pretty cloudy out there, a little bit chilly later in the evening. Going into this weekend, we're still looking at those 58, 64 on Sunday. Going into next week, like I said, we are going to warm up just a little bit, so we are looking at 70s going into next week. Tuesday, 76, Wednesday, 74, and then Thursday, 73. So it is going to be super sunny, but we're still going to be feeling those fall temperatures. Going into that hourly forecast, we're about to hit that 5 o'clock mark. Sunny outside, sunset sets at 6:36 tonight, 62 degrees, and then it's going to slowly cool down, and we're going to have clear skies, 7 o'clock, 55 degrees, and 9 o'clock, 49 degrees. And that is all I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to that Halloween weather tomorrow. I'm so sorry you have to be at a football game.
It's decent, it's decent weather. 67, not too bad. There are worse places to be than a football game on a Friday night in the fall, though, even if it is Halloween.
I couldn't agree less.
Nice.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Abby Avers.
And I'm Phil Rodriguez. We'll see you next week, Broncos. Happy Halloween.